Listen carefully. Your life will not change when the world changes. Your life will change the day you finally decide to focus on yourself harder than you focus on anyone else. You've wasted years watching others win while you shrink, compare, and hesitate. But today, that ends. This is the moment you stop leaking energy into people, opinions, and distractions, and you turn all of it inward. This is the moment you choose relentless self-focus, not selfishness. Strategy. Because the truth is simple. You win the moment you make yourself the main character of your own life. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Stop watching others and start building yourself. Here's the part nobody tells you. Most people aren't failing because they're lazy. They're failing because they're watching. They've become spectators in a game they were meant to play. And if you're honest, you've slipped into that same role. Quietly, slowly, without even realizing it. You think you're researching. You think you're staying inspired. You think watching others win will somehow pull you forward. But it doesn't. It freezes you. It drains you. It convinces you that what you have isn't enough. Because every second you look at them, you lose a second that belongs to you. That's the unexpected truth. That's the crack in the foundation. And that's exactly why this chapter exists. Comparison isn't just a habit. It's a slow leak. And momentum? Momentum is the air in your lungs. You cannot rise without it. Momentum needs protection. Momentum needs direction. Momentum needs you, not them. But comparison is friction. Comparison is noise. Comparison is doubt dressed up as motivation. Let me give you a real micro example. You wake up motivated. Today is the day you get back into running. You lace up your shoes. You step outside. And before your first step, you open Instagram for 2 seconds. And what do you see? A perfectly sculpted creator running along a beach you've never been to, with lighting that belongs in a movie and comments full of praise. Instantly, your motivation dies. One look, one scroll, one tiny moment that shouldn't matter. But it does. Because now you're not running for yourself. You're running against them. A person who isn't even in your lane. And that's a race you cannot win. Not because they're better, but because the moment you shift your eyes to someone else's finish line, you abandon your own first step. That's the trap. That's the cost. And that's your choice. Stay distracted by their progress, or stay loyal to your own. Let's talk about the place where comparison thrives the most. Not in conversations, not in real life, but in the quiet places. Your scrolling, your tapping, your late-night rabbit holes that leave you feeling behind without ever speaking a word. You tell yourself it's harmless. But look at your patterns. Look at your evenings. Look at how many times you felt confident until one 10-second scroll erased it. How many times have you compared your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20? How many times have you labeled yourself a failure when in reality you never gave yourself a real chance? Social media rewires your brain to believe you're not doing enough, no matter how hard you work. It's curated insecurity. It's polished pressure. It's a highlight reel that hijacks your timeline. Humans weren't designed to absorb hundreds of success stories in a single day. No mind stays strong under that weight. You don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You don't need their journey dictating the pace of your own. Take a breath. Slow down for a moment. No notifications, no comparisons, no noise, just you, just truth. Your life moves differently when you stop sprinting to catch up with people who were never meant to be your reference point. This is your lane, your rhythm, your story, your timeline. Calm creates clarity. Clarity creates direction. Direction creates momentum. And momentum, your momentum, must be protected with intention. Here's the practical side. Your focus isn't infinite. Your focus isn't free. Your focus is currency. Spend it wisely and you build wealth. Spend it poorly and you end up mentally bankrupt. Every swipe is a withdrawal. Every comparison is a bill. Every minute watching others build their life is a minute you're not building yours. Your focus has value. Your attention has power. Your energy has limits. Choose where you invest it. Invest in your craft, your consistency, your discipline, your next rep, your next chapter, your next step. Or spend it on strangers who don't even know you're watching. You've always known the right choice. You just haven't been making it consistently. But that changes today. Here's the psychological truth. You cannot walk confidently when your identity is divided. You cannot rise steadily when your attention fractures into 1,000 tiny pieces. Every time you compare yourself, you create a second version of you, the version that watches, the version that wishes, the version that waits. But the builder version of you, the one who rises, creates, commits, that version needs protection. That version needs loyalty. That version needs your full attention. You don't need to be better than anyone else. You need to be better than the person you were yesterday. And that happens only when you stop peeking over the fence and start watering your own soil. Starting today, commit to 3 strict behaviors. 1. The 10-90 rule. For every 10 minutes you consume, you must create for 90. Journal, train, build, practice, record, work. Turn consumption into production. Turn comparison into creation. 2. The 2-minute pause. Every time jealousy, insecurity, or comparison rises, pause for 2 minutes and ask yourself, is this feeling stopping me from becoming who I need to be? If the answer is yes, redirect immediately. No debate, no delay. 3. The daily redirect. Set 3 alarms. Morning, afternoon, night. Each alarm displays 1 sentence. Redirect your focus back to you. It seems small, but small redirections save entire destinies. You've taken the first step. You've reclaimed your attention. But attention is only half the battle. Because what happens when you stop watching others, but your environment still drains you? What happens when distractions aren't on your phone? They're in your life. People pulling at your energy, situations draining your emotions, noise draining your clarity. You're about to find out. Chapter 2. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Your life changes the moment you understand one truth. Energy is not unlimited. Energy is not replaceable. Energy is not free. You wake up each morning with a certain amount of mental, emotional, and spiritual strength, and every conversation, every notification, every choice you make takes something from it. Some days you start strong and end empty. Some days you wake up already drained. You're not tired because life is hard. You're tired because something has been quietly stealing your power long before you notice. This chapter is about recognizing those thieves and then defending yourself with calm clarity and unshakable boundaries. Nothing grows in a life that leaks. Energy rarely disappears in dramatic ways. Most of the time, it slips away slowly, quietly, unnoticed. It leaves in small moments, a comment, a message, a worry, a distraction, a person you didn't say no to. You don't collapse because of one big failure. You collapse because of 1,000 tiny drains. Most people never ask themselves the one question that would save them. Where is my energy actually going? Without that awareness, you're not living. You're reacting. You're pulled, pushed, and carried by everything around you. Think back to a moment not long ago. Someone said something, maybe a small criticism, maybe a careless joke, maybe a tone that felt a little too sharp. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't loud. It wasn't even meant to hurt you. But it did. Your shoulders lowered. Your mood shifted. Your confidence faded a little. And the rest of the day felt heavier. One comment, one moment, one person's opinion, and your energy changed. The comment didn't destroy your day. Your openness to it did. This chapter isn't about becoming numb. It's about becoming intentional. Protecting your energy is not a reaction. It's a strategy. Your energy is a limited resource. You can't give it to everyone. You can't spend it on everything. You can't scatter it across distractions, negativity, and noise. Your attention is fuel. Your emotional stability is fuel. Your focus is fuel. And fuel runs out. When it runs out, you don't make good decisions. You don't follow your routines. You don't stay consistent. You don't believe in yourself the way you normally do. Every goal you have depends on one thing: energy. And if your energy is drained, your goals don't have a chance. Protecting your energy isn't a luxury, it's survival. People don't drain you because they're bad. People drain you because you don't have boundaries. Some talk too much. Some take too much. Some expect too much. Some bring anxiety with every conversation. And some simply move in a direction that no longer matches yours. You don't need to confront them. You don't need to cut them off dramatically. You don't need conflict or explanations. You just need one internal sentence: my energy comes first. When you remember that, distance becomes natural. Your inner peace becomes more valuable than approval. Your growth no longer depends on who understands it. This is calm power. This is quiet strength. Not all drains come from people. Some come from your own habits, small behaviors repeated daily without awareness. Checking your phone the moment you wake up, you start your day absorbing the world instead of building your own. Having no morning structure, your mind burns energy deciding instead of doing. Overthinking what you can't control. Each thought loop drains more than you realize. Saying yes when you mean no, you pay for every unnecessary commitment with time and emotional bandwidth. Scrolling at night instead of resting, your mind never resets and you wake up already tired. None of these habits seem catastrophic, but together they shape your entire life. Protecting your energy begins with noticing these leaks and closing them gently, one by one. Your phone is a portal, not just to information, but to interruptions. Every vibration, every alert, every pop-up steals a small piece of your attention. Your brain resets each time, using energy you never get back. Strong focus isn't about trying harder. It's about being interrupted less. A simple rule: turn off every notification that isn't essential, almost all of them. You'll be shocked by how calm your mind feels when it's not constantly being pulled in 6 different directions. Your surroundings aren't neutral. They affect you even when you're not aware. Clutter makes your mind restless. Noise creates tension. Mess signals chaos. Disorder drains clarity. A clean space is not about aesthetics. It's about mental efficiency. When your environment supports your goals, your energy rises naturally. Change the space, and the mind follows. Here is the energy protection protocol: calm, simple, daily. The evening audit. Ask yourself, what drained me today? What fueled me today? Remove one drain tomorrow. Add one fuel. The 1-hour morning boundary. No phone for the first hour, not one scroll, not one message. Begin your day with your mind, not someone else's. Emotional gatekeeping. Before you absorb someone's words, ask, does this person live a life I want to learn from? If the answer is no, their opinion is background noise. The shield phrase. When negativity approaches, breathe once and say silently, I choose my energy. This single sentence helps you respond instead of react. You've learned how to protect your energy. You've learned how to close your leaks. You've learned how to build a shield around your mental and emotional strength. But protection is only the beginning. Protection creates space, and you must fill that space with something powerful. Now comes the part that truly shapes your life: discipline, consistency, and the daily, unglamorous actions that build greatness. You've protected your power. Now it's time to learn how to use it. Chapter 3. Master the boring discipline that others avoid. Winning isn't complicated, it's not magical, and it's definitely not glamorous. Winning is boring, and that's exactly why most people never taste it. Everyone wants results. Everyone wants the transformation. Everyone wants the life they dream about. But almost no one is willing to do the same simple, repetitive tasks every single day, long after the excitement dies, long after motivation disappears, long after the world stops clapping. You already know what to do. That isn't your problem. Your problem is that you're still addicted to feelings. You want progress to feel good. You want discipline to feel inspiring. You want consistency to feel exciting. Wake up. If you need excitement to stay consistent, you're not serious. You're playing. This chapter is a reality check, not a pep talk. You must master the boring discipline that everyone else avoids. This is the dividing line between dreamers and dominators, between the ones who keep restarting their lives and the ones who finally break through. Most people talk. Winners execute, quietly, repeatably, relentlessly. And if you can't learn to love the boring part, you will lose to someone who does. The world is terrified of boredom, and that's exactly why it's weak. People chase dopamine like it's oxygen. They want the rush of a fresh start. They want the thrill of a new plan. They want the hype that makes them feel unstoppable for 48 hours. Then the novelty fades, the excitement drops, and they quit. Not because they can't do the work, but because they can't handle the silence of the work. The lonely hours, the invisible grind, the part where no one is watching and nothing feels special. That's where 99% disappear. But you, if you want to rise, must do the opposite. While the world runs from boredom like it's poison, you must sprint toward it. Because here's the truth every champion knows. Boredom is where mastery starts. Mastery is where respect starts. Respect is where power starts. The world celebrates results, but results only come from the unglamorous repetition that nobody claps for. Do the boring work long enough, and suddenly the world calls you talented. Here's something you need to hear. Kobe Bryant once finished a full team practice and stayed for 2 extra hours alone. Same moves, same footwork, same shots, thousands of them. A rookie once asked him, "Why are you practicing moves you've already mastered?" Kobe looked at him and said, "Why do you think I've mastered them?" That's the difference. Champions don't get bored of basics. They devour the basics until the basics become lethal. Most people master something once and coast. Winners master something forever. Listen carefully, because this is the part people love to ignore. You do not rise because you occasionally go hard. You rise because you consistently go simple. Small reps, small habits, small wins. Repeated until your excuses suffocate and your identity transforms. Everyone wants complicated plans. Complicated feels smart. Complicated feels sexy. But complicated makes you quit. Simple makes you unstoppable. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing something every day. It's not about inspiration. It's about repetition. And the moment your brain whispers, "This is boring," that's not a signal to stop. That's a signal you're finally on the path the weak abandon. Most people think they fail because the journey is too hard. Wrong. They fail because the journey is too repetitive. Same habits, same routine, same process, day after day after day. The average mind can't handle that. It needs novelty to feel alive. It needs stimulation to feel committed. It needs excitement to feel motivated. Successful people? They don't need excitement. They need a mission. They show up because they said they would. They work because it's time to work. They repeat because repetition is the only path to excellence. They don't get bored and quit. They get bored and continue. That's the difference. Now let's get practical. Here's the no-excuse formula to build boring discipline. 1. Choose one non-negotiable habit. Not 3. Not 5. 1. Something so simple excuses have no room to breathe. 10 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of training, 15 minutes of writing, 30 minutes of deep focus. Pick it, own it, make it the backbone of your discipline. Master one habit, and you become the kind of person who can master 10. 2. Attach it to a time, not a mood. If you wait to feel right, you're dead. Schedule your discipline. Same time, every day. Non-negotiable. Emotion doesn't run your routine. Your routine runs your emotion. That's how discipline is built. Through structure, not feelings. 3. Stop evaluating the process every day. You don't plant a seed and dig it up every morning to check progress. Yet that's how most people treat their habits. Is this working yet? Why is it slow? Where are the results? Stop. Champions don't analyze every day, they execute every day. Growth happens quietly, beneath the surface. You only see it later. 4. Track your streak and protect it with your life. A simple calendar, a simple checklist, a simple chain of X's. Momentum creates identity. Identity creates discipline. Discipline creates transformation. Every X you mark teaches your brain. I don't break my word. I finish what I start. I am not average. 5. Expect boredom and walk straight into it. When the habit feels dry, keep going. When the routine loses its shine, keep going. When the process feels repetitive, keep going. Boredom is the door weak people avoid and strong people walk through to take everything. Your future depends on what you repeat, not your dreams. Not your motivation, not your excitement, your discipline, your willingness to do the same thing tomorrow, even if you did it today, even if you'll do it again next week, even if no one notices. That is where identity is forged. That is where power is built. That is where the world starts to fear you. The boring work you avoid is the exact work that will transform your life. Stay average or become unstoppable. The choice is brutal but simple. When you master the boring, you master yourself. When you master yourself, you master your future. Boring equals mastery. Mastery equals power. If you're ready for the next level, turn the page. Because what comes next isn't discipline, it's dominance. Chapter 4. Turn pain into fuel, not excuses. Pain isn't your enemy. Pain is your wake-up call. Pain is the message life sends when you've been pretending everything is fine while you're slipping, slacking, avoiding, and lying to yourself. The average person runs from pain. You won't. Not after this. You're going to learn the truth. Pain isn't here to break you. Pain is here to expose the weak version of you so you can destroy it. That's the key. Pain is not an obstacle. Pain is an instruction manual. But most people waste their entire life misreading it. They turn pain into excuses. They turn it into a story. They turn it into a personality trait. Not you, not anymore. Pain is a compass. Follow it. Don't fear it. Listen up. Your pain is trying to tell you something. Every pain you feel is pointing straight at the exact part of your life that needs to be rebuilt. Heartbreak? It means you got careless with your boundaries. Rejection? It means you outsourced your self-worth. Failure? It means you weren't half as disciplined as you pretended to be. Embarrassment? It means your ego was writing checks your work ethic couldn't cash. Pain is the compass. Pain tells the truth. Pain shows the gap between who you are and who you're pretending to be. Most people ignore that. They numb it, avoid it, complain about it, and that's exactly why they never change. You either use pain or repeat it. Make your choice. That's the key. Stop turning pain into your identity. Some people get hurt once and live in that moment for the next 10 years. They turn one event into their whole personality. I'm unlucky. I can't trust anyone. I'm broken. This is just how I am. No, that's how you chose to be. Pain is a moment. Identity is a choice. Every time you repeat that story, you harden the cage around yourself. You shrink, you weaken, you surrender. And for what? For comfort? For sympathy? For attention? None of those things build a strong life. You want power, you want control, you want growth. Then stop clinging to your pain like it's a trophy. Pain is fuel, not furniture. Use it. Don't live in it. That's the key. Pain is energy. Direct it or it destroys you. Here's the part people never understand. Pain gives you energy. Even emotional pain. Even heartbreak. Even humiliation. It's raw power. It's fire. It's fuel. But if you don't aim that energy at something productive, it will chew you alive. That's why people self-destruct when they're hurting. They scroll for hours. They chase distractions. They run to addictions. They attach to the wrong people. They lose all direction. They let pain lead them to weakness. You won't. You're going to redirect that energy. Heartbreak becomes discipline. Rejection becomes improvement. Failure becomes strategy. Disappointment becomes hunger. Loneliness becomes focus. Pain becomes power only when you decide where it goes. That's the key. This is how real champions use pain. Let's talk facts. Someone breaks your heart? Good. Now you see exactly where your standards were pathetic and your boundaries were non-existent. Fix them. Strengthen them. Upgrade them. Someone rejects your work? Good. Now you know where your skills were weak. Sharpen them. Improve them. Earn the respect you thought you already had. You failed? Good. Failure isn't the end. Failure is data. Study it. Break it down. Adjust your approach. Life disappointed you? Good. Disappointment kills entitlement. It reminds you that success isn't owed to you. You earn it with consistency. Every champion in history mastered one truth. They didn't run from pain. They didn't fear pain. They didn't negotiate with pain. They weaponized it. You have the same choice. Victim or weapon. Weak or forged. Excuses or execution. That's the key. How to turn pain into fuel, step by step. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for clarity. Do not wait for the right moment. That moment is not coming. You move now. Name the pain. Directly stop dancing around it. Say it out loud. I was rejected. I failed. I got hurt. I was scared. I trusted the wrong person. Pain loses half its power when you stop hiding it. Identify the message. Every pain carries a lesson. Find it. What is this pain pointing toward? What weakness is it exposing? What truth is it trying to force me to see? This is how you turn confusion into clarity. Choose the response. Pain creates energy. You choose where it goes. Into self-pity or self-improvement, into complaining or building, into numbness or growth. Your response determines your future. Convert pain into movement. Pain must be turned into action. Heartbroken, hit the gym, rejected, upgrade your skill set, failed, study what went wrong, embarrassed, practice until you're undeniable. Stuck, start smaller, but start today. Pain changes meaning when you change your behavior. Build a new identity through action. This is where everything shifts. When you keep moving even while you're hurting, you become someone different, someone tougher, someone sharper, someone disciplined, someone dangerous. Pain doesn't transform you. Your response does. That's the key. Stop chasing a life without pain. Some people believe the goal of life is comfort, safety, ease. Those people stay weak forever. A pain-free life is a powerless life. A soft life breeds a soft mind. You don't grow without pressure. You don't evolve without discomfort. You don't rise without resistance. Pain is the price of becoming someone worth being. You don't grow despite pain. You grow because of it. That's the key. Pain doesn't stop you. It builds you. Every painful moment you've lived through left you with tools, strength, awareness, focus, fire, wisdom, standards. You didn't walk out weaker. You walked out forged. Pain doesn't break you. Pain reveals you. And then pain rebuilds you into someone who can no longer be shaken. That's the truth most people run from. Not you. Not anymore. Final message of this chapter. Pain is a weapon. Pain is fuel. Pain is leverage. But only if you choose to use it. Turn pain into excuses, and your life stays small. Turn pain into fuel, and your life becomes unstoppable. Victim or warrior, fragile or forged, broken or built. That's the choice. That's the path. That's the transformation. And now that you've learned to weaponize pain, we move to the next level. Chapter 5. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the signal. Pain is the message. It is the map pointing directly toward the part of your life that demands growth. Most people run from pain. They numb it, hide it, bury it, Turn it into excuses, turn it into stories, turn it into reasons to stay small, but not you. Because the moment you stop escaping pain and start studying it, everything changes. The moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" you shift from victim to creator. Pain is feedback, direction, and clarity. Every struggle you've ever gone through, every heartbreak, failure, disappointment carried a message. Some never receive that message because they're too busy avoiding discomfort. But the ones who win are the ones who sit with pain long enough to understand it. Life doesn't reward comfort, it rewards growth. And growth is always built on discomfort. The strongest version of you wasn't created in easy seasons. It was forged in fire, in the moments where you had to choose whether to break down or break through. Pain forces you to evolve, to confront the parts of your life you've been ignoring, to step up when you'd rather shut down. But only if you face it. When pain shows up, it's not a punishment. It's an invitation to grow, to rise, to become someone stronger and wiser than before. But pain doesn't automatically make you better. Pain only transforms you when you decide to use it. Because pain has two paths. One leads to excuses, the other to evolution. One makes you bitter, the other makes you stronger. One keeps you stuck, the other pulls you forward. One drains you, the other fuels you. And you choose the path every time life gets hard. Every time you get hurt, every time something falls apart, every time someone betrays you, every time you feel lost or overwhelmed, the choice is the same. Use the pain or be used by it. If you run from pain, the pain controls you. If you face it, you control the pain. And once you control it, you can turn it into power. Think about the people you admire. They didn't become great because life was easy for them. They became great because they turned their pain into purpose. They took what broke them and used it to build something unshakable. Every champion has scars. Every leader has wounds. Every transformed person has a history of battles. Pain is the common denominator of growth, not talent, luck, or timing. Because pain wakes you up, sharpens you, exposes what needs to be fixed, and forces you to stop settling for the weaker version of yourself. You want a stronger mindset? You'll find it in pain. You want discipline? You'll build it through pain. You want confidence? You earn it by overcoming pain. You want a powerful life? You must learn to walk through pain without losing yourself. Just as muscles grow under stress, your character grows under pressure. Those who avoid pain stay weak. Those who face pain become unstoppable. And once you stop fearing pain, it stops controlling you. Once you stop running, it stops chasing you. Once you decide to use it, it turns into a tool instead of a threat. Heartbreak can become wisdom. Failure can become strategy. Rejection can become self-respect. Setbacks can become comebacks. Pressure can become resilience, but only if you look directly at your pain instead of avoiding it. If your life feels hard right now, that's good. It means you're being stretched. It means something inside you is being rebuilt. It means you're being shaped for the next version of yourself, the version you've been asking for. Growth is uncomfortable. Transformation is uncomfortable. Breaking old habits is uncomfortable. Letting go of old versions of yourself is uncomfortable. Comfort keeps you the same. Pain forces you to change. You can use pain as fuel only when you stop repeating the old stories that keep you stuck. Stop saying, "This is too hard," and start saying, "This is making me stronger." Stop saying, "Why me?" and start saying, "Try me." Stop saying, "I can't take this," and start saying, "This is building me." Your pain is preparing you for a bigger life. It is shaping you into someone who can handle more, create more, become more. It is removing weaknesses that cannot follow you into your next chapter. So don't run, don't numb, don't hide. Sit with the pain, listen to it, study it, and use it. Use it as motivation, as clarity, as direction, as fuel. Because once you turn pain into fuel, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. That strength becomes your power, your foundation, your identity. You're not here to escape pain. You're here to transform it. Chapter 6. Become the person who can carry the success you want. Success doesn't destroy people. Weak identities do. That's the truth nobody wants to admit. Not the influencer who looks confident online. Not the entrepreneur who pretends they have everything figured out. Not the person dreaming about changing their life when the time is right. Success itself isn't heavy. What's heavy is the weight of responsibility, discipline, pressure, and consistency that comes with it. If you're not strong enough inside, success doesn't feel like achievement. It feels like collapse. And that collapse isn't a failure. It's simply a sign that the identity carrying the success wasn't built strong enough yet. That's not an insult. That's the opportunity. That's the key. Every win you want, the money, the relationship, the recognition, the power, the freedom, all of it depends on one thing: becoming the person who can hold it without breaking. Burn this line deep into your mind. Build the person. Then the win becomes inevitable, not optional, not luck-based, inevitable. Here's the identity truth most people never learn. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. If your inner structure is weak, no amount of motivation can save you. If your habits don't match the life you want will reject you. You want the job? Become the person who can handle the pressure. You want the business? Become the person who can carry responsibility without cracking. You want the relationship? Become the person who won't sabotage it with insecurity or inconsistency. Most people fail not because they aren't talented or intelligent. They fail because they try to build a big life on a small identity. It never works. It never lasts. Not for them and not for you. Identity first, success second. That is the law. Now let's talk about the pattern that ruins more lives than bad luck ever will. The opportunity failure cycle. A person finally gets a chance, a promotion, a breakthrough, a blessing they've been praying for. But instead of rising, they collapse. Not because the opportunity was wrong, because the opportunity was big, but the identity carrying it was small. Pressure exposes them. Responsibility exposes them. Discipline exposes them. They begin procrastinating, slipping, hiding, avoiding. Eventually, the opportunity leaks away like water dripping from a cracked bottle. Not because they were unworthy, simply because they were unprepared. Success didn't crush them. Their weak identity did. That is the cycle you're here to break forever. You're not stuck because life is unfair. You're stuck because your identity is outdated. The identity that says, I'll start tomorrow. I'll try when I feel ready. I'll change when something forces me to change. That identity is the cage. But you have a choice. Right now. You can build the identity first, before the pressure arrives, before the success shows up, before the opportunity knocks. That's how you become unstoppable. Because when the identity is strong, opportunities can't break you. They can only elevate you. There are two versions of you, the version you are right now, and the version required to hold the success you want. The distance between them is the identity gap. Most people have dreams that belong to their future identity, but habits that belong to their old identity. That's why life doesn't move. That's why nothing changes. That's why they feel stuck even though they want more. And here's the brutal truth. Your dreams don't care how badly you want them. They obey identity, not intentions. If you don't upgrade the identity, the dream stays locked. I've seen this play out in real life. A young athlete, extremely talented, gifted beyond average, fast, explosive, destined for greatness. Everyone believed he'd go pro. He finally got the contract, the stage, the spotlight, and within 6 months, it was over. Not because he lacked skill, not because he lacked talent, but because his identity wasn't built for the discipline, structure, sleep, nutrition, recovery, focus, and professionalism required at that level. The dream was real. The opportunity was real, but the person holding it was not. That's what you must avoid. That's why identity comes before ambition. Stop waiting for permission. Stop hesitating. Stop looking for approval before upgrading yourself. You don't need validation to build discipline. You don't need applause to work on yourself. You need preparation, because when you prepare before the success arrives, something powerful happens. Success becomes easy to carry, pressure becomes normal, opportunities feel natural, you don't panic, you don't freeze, you don't self-destruct. You simply rise to the identity you already built. Now here's how you actually build the person who can hold the life you want. Step 1. Identify your weakest identity pattern. Ask yourself, which part of me collapses when things get hard? Is it consistency? Is it discipline? Is it emotional control? Is it fear? Is it distraction? Name it. Without honesty, there's no transformation. Step 2. Create one daily identity action. Not a habit, not a vague goal. An identity action, a behavior that signals who you are becoming. For example, I don't skip workouts. I finish what I start. I control my attention. I do hard things on purpose. These actions are small, but they rewrite your identity. Step 3. Build friction against your old identity. Make your old behavior inconvenient. Delete apps. Avoid energy drainers. Prepare your environment the night before. Most people think they're fighting laziness. They're actually fighting friction. Lower friction for the identity you want. Increase friction for the identity you're outgrowing. Step 4. Train under pressure intentionally. Do one difficult thing every day. Cold showers, intense workouts, long study sessions, honest conversations, disciplined routines. Pressure builds identity, comfort kills it. Step 5. Repeat until it becomes automatic. Identity isn't built by intensity. It's built by repetition. Every time you act like the future version of yourself, you reinforce it. There will come a breakthrough moment. A morning where you wake up and realize you are no longer trying to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You're no longer trying to stay focused. You are focused. You're no longer chasing success. You are someone success naturally gravitates toward because your identity finally matches your ambition. You won't hunt for opportunities. Opportunities will hunt for you. You won't hope for success. You'll expect it because you finally became the person who can hold it. In the end, you have a choice. Keep dreaming or start building. Keep hoping or start becoming. Your goals are waiting. Your future is waiting. Your success is waiting. But it will not come to the old you. Build the person, and the win becomes inevitable. Chapter 7. Focus until you win, the final switch. Winning isn't a moment. Winning isn't a lucky break, a viral clip, a sudden burst of recognition, or a magical season where everything aligns. Winning is a mindset you hold long after motivation dies, long after excitement fades, long after people stop clapping for you. Most people never understand this. They think success arrives like lightning, loud, sudden, explosive. But lightning is just the final flash. The storm was building the entire time. Winning is slow. Winning is quiet. Winning is built in the shadows through focused, unglamorous repetition. And that, right there, is why most people never win. Not because they lack talent, not because they lack resources, not because they're missing some hidden knowledge. They fail because they don't stay focused long enough for the win to happen. That's the switch most people never flip. The only switch that changes your entire life. Focus until you win. Not until it gets hard. Not until it gets boring. Not until someone else looks ahead of you. Not until life gets loud or inconvenient. Focus until you win. This is the final switch. The truth about overnight success. Every person you admire, every creator, athlete, entrepreneur, expert, or genius you think rose fast, they were invisible for years. Years of obscurity, years of silence, years of grinding with no applause, no followers, no support, no validation. You see the explosion. You don't see the fuse. And the fuse is the real story. The world claps for the moment they arrive, but that moment was already earned in the 1,000 days before it. Ask anyone who truly made it. What kept them moving when nothing was happening? What kept them steady during the long, lonely years? The answer is the same every time. Unbroken focus, not passion, not motivation, not inspiration, focus. The ability to do the same thing with the same intensity, long after the world loses interest. That's the difference between dreamers and winners. Distraction, the real enemy. Most people fear failure. They shouldn't. Failure isn't the enemy. Failure is feedback, direction, calibration. The real enemy is distraction. Distraction steals your intensity. Distraction steals your consistency. Distraction steals the one thing you need most: momentum. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more quotes, more books, more courses, more hype. You need fewer leaks, fewer detours, fewer temptations, one mission, one direction, one obsession. Because nothing great has ever been built from scattered attention. Nothing powerful has ever been created by someone who is halfway in and halfway out. Life will always offer distractions. Your job is to decline them. This is the switch. This is the discipline. This is the decision. Focus until you win. The mindset of one direction. Most people don't break because they're weak. They break because they split their power into too many tiny pieces. They chase 10 goals with 10% effort. They jump from idea to idea every time progress slows. They confuse movement with progress, busyness with purpose, options with freedom. But options are not freedom. Options are noise. Focus is freedom. When you choose one direction, everything becomes simpler. Your yes becomes stronger. Your no becomes easier. Your path becomes clearer. This is where you stop being interested in your goal, and you become committed to it. You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for approval. Success is not talent. Success is not luck. Success is consistent focus applied long enough for the result to finally break through. This is your direction. Choose it, and don't let anything pull you away. The invisible years are where you become unstoppable. Everybody wants the moment it happens. Nobody wants the years when it doesn't. But the quiet, unseen years are where you become dangerous. Every day you show up with no applause, you become stronger. Every day you refine your skills without recognition. You become sharper. Every day you refuse to quit when progress is slow. You become unstoppable. Champions are not built on stage. Champions are built in the hours no one sees. Masters are not made under bright lights. Masters are made in silent, lonely rooms where the world forgets you, but you refuse to forget your mission. This is the part 99% of people run from. But this is the part that builds the person who wins. And you're not running anymore, because now you understand the rule. Focus until you win. What you must do now. Real, practical steps. Here is the shift that actually changes your life, not theory, behavior. 1. Choose one direction for the next 12 months, not 5, not 3, one mission worth sacrificing for. 2. Eliminate every task that does not serve that mission. If it doesn't push you forward, it doesn't deserve your time. 3. Set non-negotiable daily actions. Simple, repeatable, relentless. Identity is built by what you do daily, not occasionally. 4. Remove comparison entirely. The only person you compete with is the version of you from yesterday. 5. Refuse to restart. Adjust? Yes. Refine? Yes. Restart? Never. Every restart kills momentum. Every restart resets your identity. Every restart teaches your mind that quitting is allowed. That ends now. Focus until you win. The final switch. There comes a moment where your life demands a decision. Are you going to dabble or dominate? Are you going to taste every path, or are you going to commit to one? Are you going to quit when things go quiet, or are you going to stay long enough to earn the explosion? Focus is not motivation. Focus is not excitement. Focus is not emotion. Focus is a decision. The decision to ignore everything pulling you away. The decision to stay when the results are silent. The decision to finish what you started. Repeat it until it rewires you. Focus until you win. Focus until you win. Focus until you win. Say it until it becomes your instinct. Say it until the unfocused version of you no longer exists. This is the mindset that builds empires. This is the discipline that shapes champions. This is the moment where your life splits into before and after. Because right here, right now, you just flipped the final switch. You mastered everything.